restaurant, retail, service merchants is. On the left here, you can see all the features that we have available within our ecosystem. This is just to touch and scratch the surface as to what we can offer. And then from the right-hand side, from a horizontal perspective, reporting and analytics, financial services, marketing, employee management. Within each one of these particular solutions, we have all of these additional features that will actually help a merchant maintain and grow their business. The one thing that I want to drive home about this slide here is this. When you look at Clover and you look at all of these particular solutions and factors and benefits of what we offer here, why would your merchant ever want to go out to another third party for what the features they get embedded within our platform? Well, I will tell you, if they stay within the Clover platform for all of these features and benefits, all the merchant has to do is make one phone call if they ever need support, or they just get online and they chat with someone at Clover and they can help them with all of these individual features and functionalities, not only from a software standpoint, but from an ecosystem standpoint, as well as a hardware standpoint. So that way the merchant's needs can be met all in one phone call, rather than having to call this vendor for this vendor for that, this vendor for the other factor. And ultimately, it's saving the merchant money. So just to give everyone an idea of how powerful Clover is, roughly about 785 to 800,000 merchants worldwide that are currently with Clover. Roughly 4 million devices have shipped worldwide. We've got Clover in 12 or 13 countries now, and we've seen about over $300 billion in annualized gross payment volume going through our Clover ecosystem. So ultimately, I will tell everyone here on the phone call that if you are actively selling Clover or you have sold Clover in the past, you are definitely contributing to these numbers. And we definitely thank you for your trust and your support in Clover, because as you can see here, these numbers prove that we are one of the world's leaders when it comes to point of sale solutions and merchant processing. So thank you very much for your business. We definitely appreciate that. So as we move along to hardware, our hardware suite here is made up of quite a few products that you see here. We have everything from basic payments to point of sale to order fulfillment. Now, I'm not going to go through every single device here on this slide. We actually go through each one of these devices in detail through the presentation. But ultimately, what I want to do on this slide here is to show you exactly where these devices we feel fit best. So from a Go and a compact perspective, these just do basic payments. If you need a full point of sale solution, whether it be portable, countertop, front of house, back of house, self-ordering, we've got your merchants covered. Everything from our Flex devices, which is our handhelds, our minis, and our stations, our countertop-based solutions. Our kiosk is growing popularity every single day. You know, putting the ability for a customer to put the ordering experience in their hands 100% definitely increases customer satisfaction rate. And then ultimately digitizing kitchens with our kitchen display systems. Definitely a great way for chefs to manage their kitchens. So moving along to our Clover Compact. This is our entry level payments terminal. Now I stress that it is a payments terminal only. This is not a point of sale solution. And ultimately the biggest difference here is that with a payments terminal, you enter in a dollar amount and you simply take a payment. But what sets us apart from the other competitive devices, or what we feel would be an ideal upgrade for our own FD150, Verifone, Ingenico packs, or other starter devices that are out in the market today? Well, as you all know, Clover operates on software plans. And with this particular device, it can operate on our starter software plan for $0 a month. Now, if the features of the starter don't meet the merchant's needs, then they can operate on the Essentials plan. Now, going back to starter, $0 a month. You can tether a compact to another compact.
I think we lost you, Scott.
Yep, Scott, I think, did you go on mute?
I do not know why my Teams just automatically threw me on mute. That is very interesting. What was the last thing we heard?
It was just at the start of Clover Compact, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So good. I was kind of rambling there a little bit, so I'm kind of glad it caught me there. So maybe it was AI working its magic, knowing I was tripped up a little bit. So Compact, great ideal device for starter devices that are out in the field today. What sets ours apart is with our particular Clover platform, not only do we allow a merchant to select either the starter or the essentials plan, but we give them virtual terminal invoicing, and we also give them recurring payments as part of the device and the Clover console as well. You can tether a compact to a compact if you have a scenario where the merchant and the customer are in between a barrier between the two, or if the counters, there's a lot of space in between, we can support that capability. You cannot tether a compact to any other device in our Clover ecosystem other than a compact. We support touch screens, 3.5 inches, contactless payments, chip card, magstripe, PIN debit, and EBT, all on this device here. It also supports Clover's native surcharging discount it supports Clover's surcharging program as well as our native cash discount feature as well. And it does connect over LTE, Wi-Fi, and mobile hotspot, but it does require AC power as it is not a complete wireless solution. It's a great fit in the market for all the features that you had me mention already, but for dial-up connection or for app market on device, not a great fit. Simply for the fact that this device here doesn't support that capability, but we do have some alternatives that are available. And lastly, the inventory and order management, that's going to be on a POS device, not on a payments terminal. Check acceptance, mobile capability, unsupported MCCs such as petroleum and lodging and multi-mid is also not a feature of the Clover Compact. However, as you can see with this matrix, we do provide what those comparable alternative solutions are if that is a need for your merchant. Flex Pocket. I will tell you this device here is gaining steam more and more every single day in comparison, or I would say in competition with the Clover kiosk, simply for the fact that this is your handheld wireless solution. I would call this the Swiss Army knife of all the devices, simply for the fact it is a handheld, portable, wireless point of sale solution. It has the same payment methodology that you would expect to have in a handheld: debit, credit, tap, insert, swipe, EBT, PIN debit. It's all there. It's great for restaurants. It's great for retail. From a restaurant perspective, ordering and paying at the table. From a retail perspective, not only can it be used for line busting, but it can also be used for inventory management as well. We've also redesigned the Clover Flex to make the pocket to where we actually have removed the printer to make it lighter, slimmer, and thinner, to where it's more appealing for a server or an employee to keep it in their back pocket or their front pocket of an apron. So the name says it all, Flex Pocket, great device. Flex 4th Gen, everything that you heard me mention about the pocket, other than the fact that the Flex 4th Gen has that physical receipt printer. And other than that, it's exactly the same device. In fact, here's a pictorial view of the differences between the two devices. Pocket on the left, Flex on the right. Obviously, the weight and the size is the biggest difference, and the printing capability. But also, with the Pocket, it has a charging cable with an AC adapter. The Flex also has that same AC adapter and cable, but it also has the wireless charging cradle that goes with it as well. Clover Kiosk, my favorite device that we have put out to date. I've been around Clover now for close to 11, 12 years. And I will tell you, our first iteration that we had of a kiosk, it was great for the time that we had it, but ever since we've launched the Clover version of this, it is by far the most fantastic kiosk I've seen. I hear a lot of compliments out in the market today, simply for the fact the way it looks. It comes out of the box put together just like you see it on the screen. It's fully touchscreen, built-in receipt printer. It has an integrated payments terminal here. It has an optional floor stand that it can be mounted to make that ordering experience much, much more pleasurable for a patron inside of a restaurant. Supports magstripe, chip, NFC, offline mode, connects over Ethernet, LTE, Wi-Fi, mobile hotspot, and it also speaks to our Clover kitchen display systems. The two best things I will tell you about the Clover kiosk is, one, it is a revenue generator as well as a cost savings device for restaurants. Two key points that I would like to share with everyone that you can definitely catch a restaurant's attention with. What if I told you I could save you anywhere from $28,000 to $36,000 a year? Would that definitely spark your merchant's interest? I think so. What if I told you I could increase your profitability anywhere from 10 to 30%? Well, the Clover kiosk can do both of these things. One, it replaces everything an employee can do behind a POS device. And two, considering that the complete ordering experience is put in the hands of the customer in front of a kiosk that actually has images of the items and goes into a B-roll while the device actually sits idle, it is its own upsell opportunity. Because let's face it, everybody seems to order with their eyes. And when they see something delicious on a kiosk, more than likely they're going to order it. So that's why we see these devices here increasing profitability in restaurants all throughout the United States. Kitchen display systems, these are fantastic. Digitizing the kitchen experience with a lot of merchants that are out there today. Comes in a 14-inch or a 24-inch touchscreen device. We provide power over Ethernet on these devices, so that way if there is no outlet nearby where a chef wants to either mount on the wall or set it on a countertop, you can get a power over Ethernet cable connected into the router, and it will generate power from the router and power up the KDS system here. If the device is out of reach, we also have the optional bump bar that you see listed in the lower right corner that will also control the screen as well. The reason why I love the KDS system here is, as you can see, if I'm a very fast-paced kitchen and I need to get orders out the door fast, the color codes on here tell me exactly what I need to work on. So the green ones, they're done. The red one means it's exceeded its allowed time to create the meal. And the yellow ones mean that, hey, I'm basically coming up on how much time it should take to get this order out the door. But best of all, it shows exactly where the orders are coming from. As you can see, the first one is a Clover online order for delivery. The second one is a pickup for Grubhub. The third one is a curbside pickup from an Clover online ordering. The bottom row shows that they're dining or in dining tickets with the tables. So why is this important? Well, if I'm a chef or chefs in a kitchen that has multiple tables, I can only imagine how much of a nightmare it would be for these orders to go over here, go over there, go over there. Well, now that the chefs know exactly where these are going, they can actually place their meals inside their kitchen to help organize it a lot better. So all my online orders go to this window, all my in-dinings go to this window here, and all my food delivery services go to that window over there. Just a great way to get these restaurants up on a technology-driven ordering system to eliminate paper, eliminate the fact that if they're using thermal printers under humid conditions, paper does turn black. So in this case here, it's a cost savings as well. Clover Mini 3rd Gen, great device here. Very, very comparable to what the Flex does, but in a desktop-based solution with an actual USB hub that supports multiple peripherals that are available for this device. This device here also acts as a customer-facing pay display, rewards program facilitation, on-screen tip and signature capture, front-facing camera for barcode scanning. Basically, any device that has a screen is set up for not only PIN debit capture, but signature capture, demographic information capture, whether it be a phone number or an email address, for receipts, pay displays, and so forth. All of our devices with screens will do that. And then the Mini has the ability to tether to another Mini 3rd Gen to have that customer and merchant facing scenario. Otherwise, we have a Mini 3 swivel that can be attached to this to rotate it back and forth during the time of the transaction. So ultimately, the biggest difference between the Mini and the Flex, as you can see here, the Mini can connect to a cash drawer through the USB hub, and it also has a built-in scanner at the top right part of the screen, whereas the Flex has a scanner built in. And being that it's completely wireless and mobile, it does not have any USB ports to support any other peripherals or a cash drawer. Clover Station Solo, We call it the Solo because it's one screen. It's a great low cost alternative to our Duo that we'll talk about next. We like this device here for full service restaurants and basically any merchant where transactions are taking place away from the customer. So think of an ordering station at a restaurant. One great feature that all of our Clover devices with a full screen has is that it will support pre-authorized bar tabs. This device here will support that. 14-inch merchant facing screen, being that it is taking payments away from the customer, it will support EMV and MSR only. So there is no ability for NFC, PIN debit, or EBT on this device. It does connect over all the multiple methods that you've heard already: Wi-Fi, Ethernet, LTE, mobile hotspot. You cannot tether any devices to this to make it customer facing, such as the Mini, the Flex, or the Compact, because this device here is designed as is for a behind the scenes or behind the counter type solution. Now, if you are needing that full-fledged device that will actually support customer facing payment methodology, the Station Duo 2 will definitely meet your merchant's needs. Pre-authorized bar tab support, think of this for retail, restaurant, service related merchants where card present transactions are taking place. Fully integrated with EMV, NFC, MSR, PIN debit, and EBT, thanks to the customer-facing payments terminal that's out front of the device that you see here. And it does connect over Ethernet, Wi-Fi, LTE, or mobile hotspot. So this particular device here, think of this for quick service restaurant, quick retail, anywhere where the customer and the merchant are interacting with each other at the time of payment. Biggest difference between the Solo and the Duo: the Solo is merchant facing only, whereas the Duo is both merchant and customer facing. Clover Go 3rd Gen. Before I go into the specifics about this particular card reader here, I will preface my further conversation here by saying every single merchant should have a Clover Go. Reason being is that anytime Wi-Fi goes out, or if a merchant is caught in a detrimental situation where their power goes out and they have no way of connecting their POS device to the internet or to power, Clover Go is always there to save the day. Because as long as you have a cell phone that is getting a signal, you can run card present transactions, as this device here is a card present solution. It supports our surcharging program and our Clover cash discount feature. The one unique feature that Clover Go has over all the other devices that you've heard me talk about is that it will support multi-mid, and it controls that through the Clover Go application that is downloaded on the user's phone. It will support credit and signature debit. Chip and contactless payments are available on this. There is no mag stripe, simply for the fact that we designed this unit to actually allow merchants to qualify for the best interchange rates possible, as well as keep their chargeback liability rights intact. Because if we all know, if you do not attempt a tap or a dip on your initial transaction, the merchant is automatically going to lose their chargeback liability rights, and they're going to pay higher interchange rates because they did not attempt a tap or a dip first. I would ultimately make sure that every single Clover merchant you board has one of these in their arsenal at any given time. Furthermore, if their Clover Go device no longer has power to run a transaction, if that merchant's utilizing an iPhone 10 or higher, their phone now becomes a contactless card reader. So as you can see here, between the merchant and the cardholder, the transaction is facilitated through the Clover Go app on the Apple phone, and the consumer can pay with either an Apple or Android phone, a watch that provides an NFC signal, or it will support contactless cards as well. So once again, you can have Clover Go in combination with Apple Tap to Pay, because ultimately what we are trying to do here is we are trying to make sure that that merchant can always accept a true authorization and response, and make sure that they never have to go into offline mode. So all of these devices that you have heard me talk about, we offer them in our demo program. The only cost associated with our demo program is the cost to purchase the demo unit. Otherwise, you get access to a Clover web dashboard, the app market, all of the SaaS plans, You get the majority of the Clover apps in the app market available for free. You can adjust inventory, menus, and receipts so that way they look like they belong in your potential merchant's business. It's a great way to sell the solution as well as learn the solution as well. And best of all, you can run transactions in a fictitious environment because our demo program is basically built around a black hole authorization environment. Now, on top of this, let's say you have a prospect in a different state, or you want to set up a webinar to actually show them how powerful these Clover devices are. You can actually get the ability to remote into these demo devices and have the screen appear directly on your webinar, and you can control the demo device directly from your computer screen. So definitely a great way to learn and demonstrate the power of Clover. So we're going to move on to the software plans next, but Jeff, can we break for questions so far if we had any that have come up with what we've covered so far?
Yeah, we have a few in the chat
Okay.
that I've been working through. We have a couple now that are outstanding. I don't know if you know this, the answer to this, Scott, but basically Jeff Bailey was stating if we can clarify that the bar tabs are available on the Station Duo. Says he's ran into this in the past and he was told bar tabs are not supported on the Station Duo by Clover support. You can use the authorization app, but there is no way to take that authorization and then link it to an open order for payment. We could look into that one unless you know the answer.
So the short answer is yes. Pre-authorized bar tabs is available on Station Duo. It sounds like you may have an old iteration of Clover Station Duo that there may be a little bit of a hiccup with. I suggest opening a Service 360 ticket on that, and we can look at those individual cases and we can get that rectified.
All right, and then let's see. Melissa Hill is asking, will Clover ever open up replacements for pieces with the Duo Station? Merchants do not want to purchase a whole new system when they need just one piece.
Yep, that's a great question. I know that I can give you the answer that I'm going to give you is that our Clover Station devices come from our manufacturers put together in a bundle. And in order for us to, it's just more cost effective if we replace the entire unit than each individual component. Now, 30 days out of box failure, obviously that is a different scenario here. Clover Care is definitely a great alternative to this. So if that's another option, and if PaySafe is partaking in that, that might be an attractive feature to the merchant as well.
Then Courtney asked for Tap to Pay. Which
Yep.
platform has this availability?
So Tap to Pay is only available for Apple at this time. Android isn't as popular as you would think. In fact, when Clover did the assessment for this, 80% of all Clover Go users were on Apple, not Android. So there's still talk of possibly developing this for Android, just no definite dates have been determined at this time if we are going to offer Tap to Pay on Android. So for brevity's sake, Jeff, I think we should move on to the SaaS plans because there's a lot of information I'd like to share with everyone. If we don't get to everyone's questions, we can definitely get those answered afterwards. So the latest and greatest software plan that we have now is our Clover Starter Plan. You heard me mention this with the Compact. It's our new entry-level payments plan. In fact, it replaced the Payment Starter Plan effective August 12th. But if you have existing merchants who are on the payments plan after August 12th, they can stay on payments, not a problem. Just know that if they attempt to migrate off the payment software plan, they will get a pop-up message on their screen that says, if you move away from this plan, you will not be able to revert back to payments. So just be aware of that. This starter plan is available for Mini, Flex, Compact, and Go, or our e-com only accounts, which are non-hardware based accounts. So what is it about Starter that replaces the payments plan? The one big feature is that the starter or the payments plan did not support sales tax calculation, nor did it support tax reporting. Well, now our starter plan offers those features. But being that this is a starter plan, it's ideally been created for those merchants who have, say, 3 employees or less and don't necessarily have a need for the app market. Now, let's say, for example, if that entry-level merchant needs access to the app market in the starter plan, not a problem. They can access the app market, but there is a monthly fee associated with accessing the app market as well. Now, knowing that the compact is considered an entry-level device, well, what if I have an entry-level merchant that wants to use the compact, but starter plan won't work? Well, our particular essentials plan works with the compact now. But the basic features of the starter plan are virtual terminal, e-com, developer tools, invoicing, transaction reports, sales tax calculation, and so forth. Essentials builds on that, where it also supports inventory management with modifiers and variants, not just inventory anymore. So we've upgraded that. We've also provided embedded time clock, timesheets, scheduling. We even offered a starter website within the essentials plan as well. So we've definitely added a lot more features within the essentials plan, with the 2 key features is the website and the modifiers and the variants with the inventory management functionality. Now, when we talk about the 3 verticals, retail, services, and restaurant, these 3 particular growth plans here are a fantastic fit for those merchants. The reason why I say that is within the retail portfolio for retail growth, if you have a merchant who, let's face it, if you don't have an online presence to go along with your brick and mortar location, you're not going to survive. So this particular software plan gives those brick and mortar merchants a full e-commerce website that is customizable with color schemes, has Google integration, has social media ties in. You can add images to the items on the website that you're selling. You want hero images, call to action buttons. We can give you all of that on the retail plan. And best of all, as you're selling items online as well as in store, your inventory is keeping up real time because of the cloud technology between our native website and the native dashboard with the brick and mortar store. From a services perspective, think hair salons, nail salons, spas, any of these particular merchants that provide a service to their customers, this particular plan is for them. And I say that because, yes, before we've had third-party apps in the market that, hey, if I needed a scheduler, I'd go to this app, or hey, if I needed appointments, I would go to this app, or if I needed email marketing, I would go to this app, and so forth. There was all these piecemeal third-party solutions that were out in the market, or now we combine them all together with the power of Clover to give that appointment and scheduling and management, service catalogs, customer online booking and reminders, employee and services mapping. In fact, with the services growth website, where you can fully customize similar to the retail growth site, merchants can actually pre-purchase products inside that particular location, such as a spa or a salon. They can pre-purchase that and have it waiting for them at time of checkout after their service. So that way they can have everything waiting for them at the time of their checking out. Between both of these plans here, we actually have with the retail growth, we have order online and pick up in store. And now we also have order online with delivery by DoorDash. Now that's within the retail growth plan. The talks are possibly towards the end of this year to where we will have order online with shipment. So we're currently working out the details on that as we speak. Now, from a restaurant growth perspective, this particular plan here is for your full service sit-down restaurants that need table mapping, auto coursing, table side ordering and payments. They need online ordering website. They want to utilize KDS and kiosk support. They need Uber Eats, DoorDash, and so forth. That is where the restaurant growth plan comes into play. Now, let's say you have a basic restaurant that doesn't need all the bells and whistles of a kiosk, a KDS. They don't need the food delivery services. They can get away with the essentials plan because we've added in the inventory management with modifiers in this case here. So toppings on a salad, how would you like your hamburger prepared? Those are what we call a modifier in the the inventory management of that particular software plan. So these are some wonderful software plans to pick from that your merchant have available out in the market today. So in comparison with Restaurant to Toast, which is our biggest competitor, as you can see here, Toast is very expensive compared to what we can offer as native features within our restaurant growth plan. All these other features that they're tacking on, they're charging a monthly fee for. We're including them in our $89.95. And if you look over to the right, if you add up all of those add-on fees over a month, you're looking north of $600 a month on the majority of those features that are complementary of our $89.95 a month restaurant growth plan. From a services growth perspective, if you look at Square, they're roughly about 50 to 56% more expensive than what we offer. But the one thing that stands out here is they're charging for other fees for what we include in our $84.95 a month. Email marketing and loyalty, they're charging a monthly fee for that. They only allow up to 5 employees for basic employee management, such as roles and permissions, scheduling, and time tracking. And if you need advanced employee management, such as scheduling, clock in, clock out, and all that other information, they're charging $4 an employee per month for that. So in this case here, being that all of those features are built in, the more economical plan here would be the services growth. And then lastly, from a retail perspective, our retail growth plan here for $84.95 a month is roughly anywhere from 28 to 80% less expensive than our competitors. And as you can see here, Lightspeed doesn't offer email marketing, loyalty, or gift cards, nor do they offer advanced employee management functionality, and they're still more expensive than the retail growth plan. So a lot to consider when you're talking to merchants out in the field that are, looking to pursue these particular third parties or these other competitors when it comes to POS solutions. So definitely great information to have on hand during those conversations. So if you couldn't picture where we're going, but we are going more towards a verticalized approach towards the end of 2025 into 2026. You've already heard me talk about the Essentials plan. You've heard me talk about the growth plans. So our next venture here is our Pro plans. So think of Restaurant Pro, Services Pro, and Retail Pro. As you heard me mention, probably going to be later in 2025, perhaps maybe early 2026 before we provide any more information other than what we see on screen here, as well as any additional details. But ultimately, what we are doing here is we are giving merchants more choices now to pick the software plan that they feel is most adequate for their business, rather than just giving them one option and say, take it or leave it. So in this case here, the merchant can actually look at these plans and make a financially educated decision as to what plans they feel will work best for them. So I think that's a great direction that we're going in this case here, and the fact that giving them more options makes it more of an attractive solution. So value-added services. One of the biggest value-added services that we feel gets overlooked is the actual dashboard, or what we're calling the Clover console. This is a very valuable piece of information for merchants because it helps them with financial indicators. They have access to the virtual terminal. They have access to invoicing. They have access to recurring payments. They have inventory management capability. They can see what their employees are doing, sales by employee. Basically, mission critical information here. Think of this as ground zero for any business. So as you heard me mention, the business owner, if they want to take a vacation with their family or friends, and they don't want to have to be stuck inside their business, they can be sitting on a beach somewhere logged into their Clover console on their phone, and they can see exactly what is going on in their business. Furthermore, within reporting of the Clover console, this particular information here can help that particular merchant make those financially, educational or educated decisions to know what their trends are, to know what items are selling versus which items are not, if they have to thin out the herd and know that these products are costing me money rather than making me money. They have the data here that they can make those decisions. And best of all, it's the insights behind it. I mean, obviously numbers don't lie. And this is just a great valuable tool here that can give that powerful information to a merchant at their fingertips. Cash discount, this is our native feature that we offer for all of our Clover software plans. In fact, the starter plan does support Clover cash discount. And being that our cash discount feature is $0 a month, there is no fee for this. That makes this a completely free offering for a merchant on the payments, on the starter SaaS plan. Best of all, we have now launched quarter percentages. It says it was coming mid to late August. Well, we are here at September 4th. I did not get a chance to update that. So right now, anywhere from 1 to 5% with quarter percentages can be set as the cash discount percentage for a merchant. It does support all devices accepting cash, even the Clover kiosk. Well, some of you may be asking, how is it that the kiosk can accept cash as a form of payment if there's no cashier there to take cash nor to make change? We're not going to put a cash box underneath a kiosk. Well, with the Clover kiosk, we now have pay at the counter, and that is the feature that allows for cash discount to take place on a kiosk. The images that you see here on the right are shown with the left side being the merchant's view, as well as the right side being the customer's view. So at time of payment, the merchant sees that it's $65.55. And with a 4% cash discount, it comes out to be $62.93. Similarly, on the customer side, they see the same thing. So that way, at that point, they can determine if they want to pay with card or if they want to pay with cash. Clover Payroll by ADP is here. We now have the power of ADP to provide an automated payroll integration solution with Clover. So if you have merchants out there that are looking for a very powerful and very prestigious payroll solution, we have Clover Payroll by ADP, which is also available now. Clover Capital is a great way to turn future card sales into working capital. So if you have merchants out there, for example, if they come across an unfortunate situation where a stove gives out in a kitchen and a merchant doesn't have anywhere, say 20 grand or to go out and buy a new stove, well, we can turn their future sales into capital and they just pay it back based upon their future sales. Rapid deposit does allow a merchant to basically get their funds, in minutes, as long as they set it up to a debit account. Now, these are limited. As you can see with Clover Capital, it's for Omaha and North-based merchants, as well as with the rapid deposit, it's for North only. So if you have any merchants that are not fitting these guidelines, it may not be available. It just depends on where the merchants are boarded and what book they're boarded in. Gift cards is a great feature. As we all know, Clover gift cards is a revenue generator for a lot of merchants that are out in the market today. What is the saying? I think 38 to 42% of customers overspend the value of the gift card. And with our program here, we have both a physical and a digital card. One of the best features of our program here is that we can convert most, if not all, competing third-party gift card programs. So if there are open cards out in the market with a competitor with a remaining balance, as long as those two values can be provided in a file, we can upload it into the Clover account, and those cards can then be redeemed at that particular Clover merchant's account or location. And once that card runs out, the merchant can simply just reissue a new Clover gift card underneath their new Clover gift card program. Clover customer engagement is a great solution, especially if you are looking to manage customers, obtain their demographic information so you can send out rewards to them as well as promos and obtain their feedback. The rewards program is great. It's a digital punch card program. You can eliminate all those paper punch card programs that are out there. Half the time I forget they're in my wallet. And the promos is a great way to send out promos to merchants to customers in the customer database for birthday promos, monthly promos, holiday promos, whatever you want to do. And then lastly, with the feedback app, you can actually send questionnaires out to customers within your customers app and actually receive their feedback in private rather than over open social media such as Yelp or OpenTable, because that's the last thing a brand new business would want is negative publicity submitted over, open social media avenues and so forth. So our app market has over 700 apps in the app market. Now, being that there's so many apps out there, how in the world, what is the best way to search the app market? Well, we've categorized it into 18 different categories. What you see here, this matrix, this 3x3 here, or I'm sorry, this 3x2 just shows you some of those 18. So must-have apps, e-com, employee management, and so forth. This just gives you an idea of how we curate the app market. Best of all, the apps, as you see here, have not only the app developer's name, but their contact information, a brief description of the app, as well as testimonials, as well as rating and reviews by end users. And if the app is notated, it will also offer a free trial, so your merchants can go out and try them without any harm. But please note that not every single app in the app market has a 30-day free trial, but they will notate if they do. So we're going to break for questions real quick, and then we're going to round out the rest of today's call with our partner resources and support. So Jeff, do we have time? We have a couple questions waiting for us.
Yeah, we do. We have one user asking about a cash discount rate, if they can go above 4%, if a merchant wants to do 5%. And I believe
we cap it at 5%.
Yeah.
So you can set a quarter percentage anywhere between 1% and 5%. So if the merchant wants to do 2.25, 3.75, 4.5, they just can't exceed 5%.
All right. The next question here, through PaySafe, can I set up a Clover merchant to have a separate rates for card present and card not present transactions?
That is definitely a question for PaySafe and how they board their merchants and how they set their rates. I can't advise on that.
Yeah, I just saw that too. The answer is not at this time. We don't have a swiped versus non-swiped pricing structure setup available at this time.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Right. Chris, I saw your other question here. Chris was posted in the chat. He would like to know the level of customization that they can achieve within the POS system. If they have a merchant who's a dog groomer, can they use the system to program specific services with pricing? Can they also run the appointment calendar from the POS?
Yes, to both of those. So that is the beauty of the services growth plan, is that a dog groomer in this case here is providing a service to the market. So you can have each particular groomer in your catalog and what particular services they offer from a grooming perspective. Like, for example, this particular groomer can only do nail trims, where this can do nail trims and a nail grind, or this one can, you can set up that catalog however you want. And being that there is Google integration with this, if a customer finds your groomer online through Google, they can book directly through Google as well. So Jeff, I know we only have 5 minutes left. I'm just going to preface this that I'm going to do my best to get through this last section here. There's a lot of great self-explanatory information here, but the couple things that I want to point out is our Clover curriculum. I definitely recommend everyone take advantage of this. There are 3 pillars that you walk through: the hardware, the software, the value-added services. And after you get through those, we have our knowledge check, where it's a 30 question test based upon the information you learned in the modules, and it will give you a score, which will help you determine how comfortable and what your knowledge level is with Clover. So that way you can start focusing on, or maybe it's your guideline to say, hey, I need to start focusing on X, Y, and Z. And to do that, we give you a bunch of wonderful resources here, which is our High Spot site that has a bunch of short videos produced by Clover, as well as live webinars to register for. In fact, we also have our tech training schedule that is both available for you as well as merchants that provide a live Q&A session with the live Clover rep providing the webinar on payments, essentials, retail, service, restaurant, virtual terminal, customer engagement, our healthcare feature. Definitely a great resource. Clover monthly webinar is great. You get to hear directly from Clover on where we sit any given month, as well as where we're headed in the future. You can register through the QR code as well as the link in the presentation. Further education and training on sales and operations is available through our other HighSpot website. There's a slew of information out here. In fact, you can get a copy of today's presentation within this website, as well as other presentations regarding sales and operations. But the newly launched Clover Sales Hub, I think, is where everyone on this call is going to find a lot of value, because we go into great depth where we talk about the hardware, the software plans, what solutions we offer, as well as partner training that is available for all of you, as well as what support is available for merchants. Now, this particular site is locked by a password that's provided here in this presentation, and that does change on a quarterly basis. So I highly recommend everyone bookmark this page. There's a lot of great information here as well. And the support teams here, Chris, I'm sure you, as well as everyone else at PaySafe, has their levels of support that they provide for everyone. So I don't really want to go into this in great depth. I'm sure you all have your guidelines that you provide for your agents as well as your sales reps there.
Yeah, that's correct.
Clover status. Yep. And then the Clover status page notification. This just gives you a bird's eye view at any given time as to what the status is of our network. So if there are any disruptions throughout, the network from time to time, you can get notified via text or via email, or go out and check the site. And that is the end of my presentation. I know there's probably going to be a bunch of questions in here. I can hang on till 3:05. So if we have enough questions that exceed the time, if anybody wants to hang on till 5 after 3 or the 5 after the top of the hour, I'm fine with that. So Jeff, let's go ahead and open it up for questions.
All right, sounds good. We got a couple questions in the chat. How do we enable cash discount through PaySafe using Clover?
So cash discount is controlled by the merchant. The merchant can go into their dashboard, they can enable it, and they can set whatever they want for their initial cash discount percentage. It defaults to 4%, but like we were talking about earlier, if the merchant wants to offer a certain percentage, a quarter percentage, like a 2.25 or a 3.75, they can set that upon initial activation. And they also have the ability to update the pricing of all of their individual items in their inventory by the said percentage. We allow that as a one-time. Now, if at any time the merchant wants to change their cash discount percentage, they would have to work through their contacts at PaySafe to get over here to Fiserv to change that on behalf of the merchant.
Do we want to take any on the phone here? See a question in there. Surcharging. Surcharging is going to be offered real soon. Working with PaySafe now on the details. How do we connect Clover to their website, to the merchant's website?
So we have payment links designed in the e-commerce section of the merchant's dashboard. If you go into their settings, you will look under e-com, and then from there you will see the ability to do payment links. So Chris, I wanted to share with everyone as well that we will get over to an email that on, I believe it was a call earlier this or late last month, an individual was asking for demonstration sites for the retail growth as well as the services growth websites. I actually have those available. I will share those in an email to yourself, Chris, and then we'll get that to others. And that way you can disseminate that down amongst everyone if they would like to see a fully working demonstration website of the retail and services growth plan.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It looks like there's a question from Roosevelt in the chat. How to print sticky labels for pizza restaurant and what equipment is needed? Well, Clover actually does have a sticky label printer. The sticky label printer that we have there is for assembly line. So think of a coffee shop. Hey, I want this latte with these additives and this size with extra this and extra shot of that. We actually have a sticky label printer that can do that. Otherwise, we have a third-party app that does label printing with the Easy Labels app in the app market. It is a Brothers label printer. So we offer that as a third-party solution as well. Looking through the chat, I don't see anything else. Did you catch any more questions, Jeff? Anything in the Q&A?
We caught them all. If we did miss any, I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will definitely get a copy of this presentation out to everyone today. Chris, if you don't mind, I'll just send it to you. And if you wouldn't mind disseminating that out, that would be great. I also wanted to advise everyone that we will be at WSAA. So if you are going to be attending, we will be at booth 300. I would love to be able to talk more Clover Shop with everyone. So if you want to stop by and say hi, I will be there. So looking forward to that as well. And thank you all for your attendance today. Greatly appreciate all of your questions and the commentary. Thank you very much. And yeah, be on the lookout for some new content and new roadmap items coming very soon from Clover.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Jeff. See you guys next week. Appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
All. Bye-bye.
Bye.